Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Do not move to Canada for acting before watching this video till the end, because I'm going to tell you 5 things you need to know before coming here. Number 1, Canada is very, very expensive. The cost of living is incredibly high, and mind you, I moved here from Dubai, which I'm sure you've heard is not a cheap place to live in. So even for me, Canada, Toronto in particular, that's where I live currently, is incredibly expensive. The rent, the transportation, the food, everything, literally everything is quite costly. So it might be a good idea to start comparing the prices in your city and in a Canadian city. There's plenty of websites that will help you do that so that you will get an idea on the prices for groceries and rent and gas and so on. And being an actor is probably not going to be your main source of income. So be ready to have another job that will pay your bills, and maybe even pick up a second or a third job to just make ends meet if you're coming here just to be an actor. Because it may take time, and it will take time before you actually make it in the industry here. The second thing you need to remember is the industry is still recovering after the strike. Yes, it ended a while ago. It's been over since the end of 2023, but the pace is quite slow. You know, things are picking up, there are jobs, but you can imagine the competition is very high at the same time. So just to add to the previous point, it's not going to be easy to find work as a newcomer. So be ready to work extra hard. Keep this in mind. A thing to remember, number 3, is Canadian experience, or lack thereof. Guys, you need to have Canadian experience to be taken seriously. And how do you gain Canadian experience if you're not being taken seriously already, right? So it's kind of a tough spot to be in. You have to fight for those jobs to start somewhere, and slowly you will gain this experience. And this doesn't apply just for acting. For any kind of job in Canada, they are going to expect you to have Canadian experience for them to feel safe, basically. They want to know that you've been on a Canadian set, you know how it works, you know all the lingo, because there's like a specific slang here. They want to be sure that you are going to fit in, basically. Even the agents and casting directors are going to be wary of you just because you don't have Canadian experience. So be ready for that. Number 4, you cannot join a union unless you're a permanent resident or a Canadian citizen. So if you're someone like me who is here on a work permit, sorry, you cannot be an ACTRA member. That means you most likely will not work on union sets unless they really need you, and they will pay for a permit for you to be on that kind of set. Yes, you can still apply, and I even emailed with ACTRA on this subject, but most likely you will work on non-union projects. For those, you're going to be paid less. You might face some unprofessionalism on those sets, and some safety issues may occur. So you have to be ready for that. Before you get your PR, you're going to be working mostly on non-union projects. And the last one, number 5, my personal favorite, your accent. Yes. If you're moving here, yes, maybe you are from an English-speaking country, but even then, if you're from the UK or Australia, you have your unique accent, right? It shouldn't be a problem, one would think, because there's plenty of British and Australian actors in Hollywood, right? In all those movies that we watch and we love. But if the person cannot go back and forth between American accent and their own accent, they are very limited on the roles that they can book, realistically speaking. That is for those for whom English is their first language. But what about us, for whom it's not? It's our second language, right? If you speak Italian at home, or French, or Ukrainian, or Russian, or any other language that is not English, what then? Because then clearly you sound like a foreigner. Yes, again, it can be your asset, and it is for sure. But you have to practice your standard American accent. Even Canadians practice it. Even Canadians try to get rid of their Canadian accent, because lots of productions here are American. They come here mostly for tax reasons because it's cheaper. But at the same time, the film in that case is most likely about Americans. So you have to be able to switch between your own accent and standard American accents. You are going to be judged by your accent. For me personally, for example, I've heard that they're not sure what I sound like really, but I do sound like a foreigner. That's what I heard. And that's something that's going to put you in a small box that you might want to get out of. So if after all these 5 things I've mentioned, you're still planning on moving to Canada, congratulations. I'm sure that's going to be a great and very exciting step in your life and in your career. But remember all the things that I've talked about today, and you might as well start working on those prior to coming here, especially on the last one. Maybe after this video ends, you can go and start practicing. I wish you best of luck. Be ready to work hard, to fight for those roles, and to prove to yourself and to everyone else that this move is worth it. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.